I have another friend, another Bredren. I think he has some legal issues as well. His name is Foota. He had some legal
Hmm.
issues. I think he married to someone and the person um, abandoned him while he was out the country. And he was held by ICE. I'm not sure if you got a chance to look at that case or that situation, what's out there
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
media.
yeah,
So
yeah.
um,
I'd heard about it.
he's a strong advocate against certain immorality. How far can he push the envelope to jeopardize his chance of staying in the US?
So, without putting people into a box, but essentially, when you come back into the United States and you say your marriage case or whatever case you had going fell through, you are allowed to start another case if you want to. You are allowed to start another marriage case if you have a true marriage. You are allowed to work on a divorce case depending on what stage you were at. You are allowed, if you were abused in your initial relationship, you're allowed to do what a lot of people call abandonment or abuse. We call it VAWA. So all those are options available for you. But the same problem as we had before with Ivani is that if you're still dealing with human beings and your application, no matter what, even if you don't have crimes against you, your application to get a green card is based off of you being a good enough person to get it. And that doesn't mean, oh, I haven't committed felonies or, oh, I've never punched an old lady, because many of those people have gotten green cards. That's not what they mean. They mean that in my discretion, when I'm done talking to you, when I'm done looking at all the things that you've done, all the things that you've said, I think you'd be a good next door neighbor to have, right? And many people who've committed some pretty serious crimes, when I bring them into that interview room and the officer meets them, he says, you know what, this is actually a good dude. This guy has been taking all the wrong paths in life, but I see he's changed. He's actually a really good gentleman. He's a wonderful father. I can't tell you how many Jamaicans I've gotten off. A bunch I gotten out of prison for some serious crimes, just because they're phenomenal fathers. Like, they are just really, really good dads, able to raise their kids, able to, they're at school every day. They're chatting with the teachers even while they're in prison, keeping up on the schoolwork. That just impresses people in the United States. And they're willing to forgive a lot if you show that you're a good enough person. But if you're putting stuff online and it's your worst side or it's your aggressive side, then that type of stuff can come back to bite you. Because now someone is judging you as their next door neighbor based off of that before you even come in to say a single word to them. And that's who they see you as a person. And that's where it gets dangerous, because a lot of the things you do online are to get attention. It's to get likes, it's to get clicks. Sometimes you're just feeling angry, so you want to vent. And so as a result, people aren't seeing the best side of you at all times. They might be seeing the worst side of you, but that's your most popular video. So that's all anyone's going to think of you when they go and look you up later on. And immigration does look at your social media. Immigration looks at your social media when you come in the country. We've known tons of people who've been sent back because they were messaging on Facebook how they were going to work for each other. Immigration looks at your social media when you apply for a green card, when you apply for citizenship. They just want to see what are you presenting to the rest of the world. I know you're going to present someone good to me, but what are you presenting to real people out there?
So, so if you had to say, if you had a message for, like, I just pointed out two persons, Pretty Don and like Foota. What would you say to them if they were your clients trying to get their legal stay or have gotten their legal stay? What advice would you give them when it comes on to social media? Because this is I'm piggybacking off what happened to Ivan based on terroristic threat, yeah,
Yeah,
or just moral turpitude, yeah. What
yeah.
would you say to them if you were representing them to get their legal stay in the U.S.? More so like Foota, because he's a great brother. So what would you like? What advice would you give him?
So I'd have to level with everybody, right? Is that I know your internet presence is how you make your bread. I know that's how you present yourself to the world, how you promote yourself, and that's very important. But at a certain point, you got to start cleaning up what you put on the internet. And I'm not familiar with everything he's put out, so I'm sure he's got loads of good. It's unfortunately is the stuff that gets shared the most, and the things that get shared with me the most are obviously going to be the ones with the strongest and most controversial opinions. That's just how it is. And so for the time being, until we get to clean up your status, the best thing to do is to not put out as many of those videos as you can, to pull back from any of the controversial stuff. That can be hard for people who built their whole personality on that, or people who, that's just who they are. They like to get into controversial topics, but it can get very dangerous when those are your most popular videos. That's because when immigration Googles your name, that's going to be the first thing that pops up. They don't even have to look. It's not going to be the good video where you're doing a good deed, or where you're singing an awesome song, or where you're doing a dance routine with a bunch of kids. It's going to be the video where you're mouthing off at somebody else. It's going to be the video where you're talking down to somebody who was insulting you. And that's what they're going to see. And this isn't just for them. This is for everybody. I tell all my clients, keep your head down. Try and stay off of social media. If your job involves social media, then do it, but keep it as positive as you possibly can. Comment on other people's streams, but don't comment on your own, because you don't want that coming up in a Google search later.
Wow. Wow.